I know we just whaled, but it's time to whale again, this time with one that I've been planning for a while, but I'm not alone in pulling for Aventurine today, and since Nick is much newer to the game and has not had many opportunities to do this, I'm going to cede the floor to him, let him talk about why he's pulling for the Gambling Man, and I'm going to shut the fuck up until I pull a little bit later.
Honestly, there's something very mysterious about Aventurine in the story that kind of appealed. But I don't know. Still, the story led me to wanting more. And when I learned about his kit, and especially the team that I'm kind of building right now, let me see if I can. Maybe a different menu. So yeah, this is my second team. My first team is, of course, the Firefly Explodey team.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm kind of working on a follow up attack team. As I got started, they started off basically with a maxed out March 7th, and then we had a couple good banners in Fei Xiao and Robin. The only thing that's kind of out of place here is the 4-star Natasha, solid healer of course, but still, I honestly, like, while I was building all this out, I kind of wondered if I should switch out Natasha for Japard for a while, because I kind of it feels like a team that would probably benefit more from the preemptive healing of shields rather than the proactive excuse me, the after active, I guess, the post active healing that Natasha offers.
Yeah,
So I was just trying to think of a decent shield user to use, and Japard is always solid, especially since it's standard banner. Always have a chance at getting more of the eidolons. So
I think
yeah, it could
when
be
I first
named.
started the game, I liked Natasha because it was like, oh, this is what I'm used to in RPG. Somebody gets hurt, and I heal that hurt. And now, as time has gone on, I mean, I don't even have a Bailu that can keep up anymore, and she's a 5-star. The problem is, Natasha in particular only has her ult as out of turn healing. So, Luoka and Aventurine and all these other ones usually have some kind of mechanic that'll play in once other people get damaged outside of their turn, so you can keep up better. She doesn't, except for her ult, which is pretty expensive. So a lot of times you get into a situation where you just get pummeled to death, and it's like, well, that's that then.
Okay. She definitely, mine in particular, could probably benefit from more energy regen. Goodness, I'm trying to find her stuff that I got. Yeah, I very infrequently get the, yeah, basically straight up energy regen. I very rarely get to use the ultimate. She just does not seem to be able to keep up. And I don't know if it's all the relics that I've got from my team so far, but they do not have huge amounts of HP and are struggling to keep up. Obviously, I do have some relics to still update, but yeah, I really feel like this is a better shield team, at least for what I've got.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm
It's like the last
obviously
missing
I'm
piece. I mean,
obviously
you'd be upgrading
yeah.
if you went with Topaz over March 7th, obviously, but March 7th is fine with Fei Xiao. So this is, I
Yeah.
think, the biggest upgrade you can do by far.
Mhm. I'm not nearly as good as the analysis at the analysis compared to you and Jason.
Well, I'll talk about
Yes,
how he
hello, I'm
fits
here.
in that team, the so-called fart team, although it also could be frat or raft.
We
Hmm.
prefer fart.
We'll talk about team
I think
composition and that stuff when we get to mine. But for you, I mean, you need a stronger healer. You don't have any 5-star healers, and this is a very good place to start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
replacing Natasha is it's one of those things that all players in Star Rail will have to do at
Yep.
some point. She is perfectly fine at the one little job she has, but she does not she can't keep up. Unfortunately, like that's just the truth. There are plenty of times like she will let you get through content, but there will be times where she will not heal fast enough. You won't be able to get quite enough energy, or you are burning skill points with her to get those heals off, which then means you're losing damage. She can keep up, but there's a cost, and that cost is essentially how quickly you're going to be able to do stuff. So that's where upgrading to almost any 5-star will net some sort of gain.
You can argue
Um,
without the ability for her to purge certain like status effects, you'd actually be bottom tier. At least with
Correct.
her skill,
Yeah.
she can get rid of some pretty nasty stuff sometimes. So yeah, she's good for getting through the game, the low levels of pure fiction, but she's not going to hold up to scrutiny. And that's okay. She's a 4-star. She's maybe not meant to do that. And again, she's free. That's all great. But
I've gotten a lot of her Eidolons.
well, you won't be seeing her again after this, I don't think. So
Probably not.
all right, so we got 162. How many pity?
Ooh, good call.
4.
4.
So I mean, it's all but guaranteed. I mean, when you turn in some things for extra pulls and whatnot, it should certainly be. But we're gonna hope to hit the first side of the 50-50 because we always do.
So
You know?
are we gonna talk about the he who must not be named in the room?
Whoa! Don't talk about
What?
Sampo like that.
Yeah, it's not lost on me that he's back on another banner I'm pulling on, but that's fine. He can do whatever he wants.
Oh, I didn't get any Mualani luck.
You know, I was gonna say who does, but I'm the obvious answer to that. So
Well, I don't know why I'm
yo, the
skipping
Sampo.
before we know. Hey, yeah, I mean I didn't have him yet, so
There you go.
now I can build him up just to let him make sure he gets beat on by the enemies.
Now you have the
There you go.
foundation of a dot team that'll be really, really bad.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion.
See, I'm excited about this actually because I'm pretty sure I only have her at level 1, so that'll be a nice upgrade.
March was a character that ended up saving my ass, oddly enough, in certain fights where I needed the follow-up attacks of the ice element, and I just didn't have ice characters. And I want to say it was the bug boss. I want to say I struggled immensely. My teams were not leveled up. I didn't have the right people. And I eventually was like, March, I have to tag you in. And I tagged her in, and it was enough for me to win. And it was so like there's solid arguments for getting a lot of these sort of side characters leveled up in a lot of little ways.
I haven't gotten a single Pele yet.
No.
I'll also be I was gonna say I want to be extra autistic and point out that it's imaginary, not light, so it should have been PWI earlier, not PWL.
So 74.
Yeah. Whoops.
So you're there, yeah. Yeah.
There it is.
Boom.
All right, I already told the guys that if I lose the 50-50, then obviously I need to relocate from the Trailblazers room to the bar just outside. So.
Yeah, he needs to go have a couple drinks, you know.
Mhm.
So we're hoping to see the little shield here, preservation. That's what we're hoping. Okay,
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
there it is.
My goodness, I have only
Beautiful.
lost one 50-50.
You have to be
Well,
careful.
knock out
It was-
some wood real quick. Yeah.
You can get fooled by the symbol still,
Yes, you could end up with a Japard.
For example,
Yeah.
Aventurine's voice actor was doing pulls with Acheron's voice actress and hit a Nihility one because he was pulling for Acheron, and it was Welt. So that was the source of much amusement for Welt for Acheron's voice actress, not so much for Aventurine's voice actor.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do the thing. Oop, wrong button.
You've been prepping for him?
No.
No?
There we
All
go.
right, that looks a lot more like a
Um,
follow-up team.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we could see how far I can get, of course. In fact, I want to say that I was actually just
That's all?
wasting a bunch of stuff on
Let's
some
settle.
upgrades for some other characters, so I might not have much for preservation stuff at all, actually.
What light cones do you have that might slot into that?
Nope. No, I've never even seen those before. So.
Yeah, that's not a thing
All right,
you would have
like
ever
going.
pulled for before this unless you were intending to get them. Not that I farmed 65 of them yesterday or anything. That would be ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yesterday of all days.
Well, I finally realized I was like, oh, that's the one thing I haven't done. Whoops. And I just put all my points towards that instead. It wasn't that bad.
Hmm.
So apparently I have. This is Japard and regular March 7th, Preservation March 7th. So I'm not using those characters, so I could just switch them out if they are the
The
best.
question
in
is,
stock for
what
I
does he
got.
use? I don't like. I've not researched him a lot. Is he looking for defense?
He
What's
wants
he
all
scale off
defense.
of? All
He
defense.
wants like
So then your
4,000
light cones.
defense.
So then you're probably looking for.
So
I think
that
there's
right
probably an
there
argument.
is an option, although you don't really care about the burn.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's also the Landaus.
That is the better one.
The new one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to end up with as well. It's not the best in slot, but that's at least a very solid one to start with.
Yeah. Well, it's defense, and he's a follow-up attacker, so
Yeah.
that's the damage.
Anything
yeah,
with
that
defense and
seems
shield
solid.
components is perfect for him, as we'll see why when I run the trial with him in a little bit.
Suddenly, I have a whole bunch of 3-star light cones to do.
Hmm.
Anyway, we could probably switch to you while.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to show him off, and I have a nearly fully built one at the end of this, plus we'll do the trial. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's nicer in mine just because mine's in 4K.
Yeah.
Although I guess it's only
So
in 1080 on the stream, but it's fine. It's still very nice and shiny. So I'm going to share my screen with them. It's going to pop up, and it's ruining everything for all the viewers. There we go. And now I'm going to switch
4K
to
downscaled is always better.
get Discord off the screen, and there we go. There I am. You guys should be able to see.
The
Yes.
ninja. Mm-hmm.
I will unmute. As I'm in a loud place. I decided to come here for mine. Let me switch windows so that I'm good to go here. There we go. Let me swing around here the way I had the camera originally. Yeah, I just wanted to be here in the Grand Theater.
Nothing wrong with that.
The music here
You
amuses
dance?
me. Like loud, but it's loud
Agreed.
sometimes.
Yes.
There it is.
But yeah, I like all the people dancing
Yeah.
in the background too.
I thought it made for a fun background for this, since Aventurine's kind of all about showmanship in addition to gambling and... Well, he was another one of those characters that we just talked about the last time we did a polling video, right? Where it's like... Yeah, do your thing. I don't think he really had a chance to shine the first time he ran, and people liked him for his kit. But as far as the story goes, I was pretty underwhelmed by him at the time. But even before we finished Pentacone, we got to do more stuff with him, and more things were revealed, and you're like, oh, okay, he's actually pretty interesting. But by the time he was pulled the first time, he didn't really have that full chance to shine. I have 258 pulls. I'm still sitting on a treasure trove of them because things have gone well recently. There's no two ways about it. Yeah, I haven't won every single thing, but Jesus, I can't complain in the slightest. So he is coming home. This has been a play that's been in the works for a while because he's the missing piece for me. I need a better 5-star second healer than Bailu. In this case, it's going to be a better first team healer than Luoka, who will slot on my second team with whatever I need, Dot, or Rappa, or, I don't know, like Pella and, I don't know, whomever I feel like. If I want to pull Jade, I could go that route with some like group follow-up. But the point is, this is the missing piece right now. It's not even that close. I don't remember what I had for pity. 2.
Yeah, not a lot.
No, not much.
So, what's the over/under on how many Sampos he gets?
7.
Well, do you want him, or do you have? Is he maxed? Is he just wishes?
I don't know. I think he's just wishes.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm feeling an early pull and then a pull for a weapon.
That's
Or, I'm
I
sorry,
guess
light cone.
a Lycon, yeah, a Wenjin, whatever we're
Yeah.
talking
Yes,
about. Yeah,
they're all the same thing.
Yeah, that's the question here. Is like, I have to imagine his Lycon is like busticated or something, or like, are you looking forward to like a Sunday or something? Like, is it really going to depend on whether this is a 50-50 for you, Chris?
I
with all
personally
these?
don't
'Cause
find light cones to be that important on support characters. So I don't think that's going to be a priority even if I win this. I think you really need them on like your core DPSs to make them pop off as much as possible, but I don't feel like the difference is that big when it comes to supports. So what's the plan after this? I haven't really decided. We'll have to wait and see how this goes.
I feel like I mostly agree with you. I think there's a couple light cones that change playstyles that I would say are the exception, but otherwise, it's yeah, you're going to want your DPS to be the one that's hitting harder.
I mean, I pulled on Rappa, so yeah, he's full. I pulled on Rappa and then her light cone at your encouragement, and you were right because it's a big step up for her, and she needs to be clicking as much as possible. Whereas, like,
yeah,
the 4-star light cone I'm going to give him is going to make him like 90% as good as it would be with his signature one.
Yeah, there are exceptions to it. Firefly, for example, can just use the shop 5-star light cone, and it's pretty dang sizable. And then there are exceptions on the other side, like the Fushwin. I believe she was only as high as she was in like the Pride Win tier list because they were including her with her light cone because it heals. So instead of her just sort of soaking damage indefinitely, it like helps you like refresh on waves or whatever nonsense it does. So like there are some exceptions, but yeah, other like what is Bailu gonna do anymore with her?
There it is.
Okay, well, we got it.
This is gonna be 72 at max, right?
This is pulling to 82. So we were expecting.
Pulling to 82.
Okay, I was messing.
Well, not expecting, but certainly hoping for here.
I only noticed the one Sampo.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey.
we got the correct blonde-haired boy.
Yeah.
This is the preservation boy. Yeah.
Yeah, it would not have surprised me to see Japard show up again.
Oh,
there he
there it is.
I did a
Hey,
Sampo.
what? You only heard one of me?
You have an Aventurine, but wouldn't you rather run me? No.
Exactly. The 5-star sample will come and change this game forever. Okay.
I mean, I've had really, really good luck in this game. And
Yeah.
I guess it's it's almost enough to offset Genshin because my luck in Genshin was that fucking bad. And it's not just me saying that. That's not like selective bias. That's actually, we've done the numbers. At some point, we'll go back over them again now that it's been a while since the last time. My numbers in Genshin are fucking terrible. So it is nice to sort of feel like, hey, this game's clicking for me. Is it part of the reason why I'm playing this more than Genshin? A little bit, yeah. I have to be honest. Well, 178 means I now have pretty much a guarantee on whatever else that I want. I don't know what I want. Just to show off what we're talking about, this is the 5-star light cone. It's a 40% defense
a lot of
boost,
defense.
but he can get all the defense he needs without that, unlike Rappa, who had a little bit harder time getting to the right amount of break effect without her signature light cone. Like, look, there's no question it's really good, but, like, we really only care about the first and last effects, and really only the third. The second one is whatever.
Yeah, so this is a light cone where, like, okay, one part of it is a stat stick. They throw 40 defense up there, and you're like, that's good, but, like, I mean, okay. Like, other than it just being raw numbers, it's not doing anything other than just numerically increasing some stuff. And then you can start arguing about, like, how much does 40% benefit you in the long run versus, say, 30% from another light cone. Like, what's that 10% difference doing when you start filtering that through percentage of that defense into an attack or something, right? Like, is it really like a 3% or a 5%? I don't know any of his numbers. The other part of this, crit damage, is a funny statistic because, fun fact, if you don't crit, it does 0. That's nothing. That could be that is a 40% or a 0%, depending on if you crit. The other thing is nice, a 10% increase, but it's 10%. So I don't know. This is one of those things that I think falls into the category of, like, you're gonna have to farm to make this light cone work for you, because if you don't have the right relics or whatever we're calling them, relics. If you don't have the right relics, the right stats on Aventurine to get his crit rate and his defense up high enough, what is that light cone really doing for you, other than, I guess, a 10% damage increase for everybody else on the team, which, again, I guess helps, but you better hope that the rest of your team is doing damage, which, depending on what team, if you put them in a follow-up attack, it's more likely than with other teams, so that's good. But, like, so again, so in one attack, one, like, team type with the correct stats, like, then it works, I guess. Big shrug. But I have a feeling you're just going to put a nice big meaty light cone on him, and it's going to be less meat, but it's still going to do a lot. And, you know, I don't know.
I haven't finalized these yet because I'm not sure how much he cares about crit rate and damage. He does a little bit, obviously, based on his own light cone and stuff, but, like, I'm not really using him for his damage. It's nice that he can add a little bit compared to other healers, don't get me wrong, but, like, that's not really going to be the crux of what I'm doing. So I haven't decided which of these three. I have a few set aside that are defense main. I might look at this one just because of the effect resistance, but we'll mess around with those later. But I have a decent set up.
Does he have a cleanse or a self-cleanse or no?
He has, like, a prevention. His effect res goes up based on some situations. So we can look at what he does here, and then we'll show him off in the trial as well. He has a few different things going for him. This is one of them. So for every 100 of his defense that goes over 1,600, his own crit rate rises. He doesn't need a lot of it himself, because again, you're targeting somewhere around like 4,000, which then is, the maximum. That's why it is 4,000, because that gets you to the maximum of 48% off of 2,400 more.
Yeah. So this is why it's less reliant on relics to get his light cone to work.
Correct.
But yeah, I mean, it works, I guess. I still just don't know that 40% extra crit damage is the most important thing for
not on him.
somebody
Again,
you're
like him doing more
Yeah.
damage is great. It's going to add. It'll add up, because I'm not knocking it, but it's not like that's going to be the thing that makes the difference. It's Fei Xiao and Topaz beating the shit out of things. That's going to make the difference. This is basically just a free use of his skill to start the fight. So you start shielded, so you're not worried about like getting duffed turn 1.
Yep.
And then this is the kind of the main thing that's going on here. So Fortified Wager is basically one of the names for his shielding ability, and he gets these points, and they can reset. And then when he does his follow-up attack, which we'll get to on the talent, then like they also get a whole other thing that's going on. So like it's just shields upon shields. Follow-up attacks give more shields, which give more follow-up attacks, which... And, of course, when I'm slotting him into the premier follow-up attack team, he's going to find a home to do whatever it is that he likes.
Yeah.
There is this mechanic, which is funny. It's like a chance to do a few different things. So you could get lucky and get a 60% boost, but, I don't think people really worry about the range of it. They just know his defense is up, and we don't worry about the rest of it. So, like, the technique is fine, but there's not going to be a lot of situations I use that, unless it's one of those fights where you're just using all of your techniques. The ultimate, you randomly get a certain amount of points in the blind bet mechanic. We saw that already. Does damage, which we understand. And then we also do more crit damage based on that when they're marked by this. The skill is the shield. And again, keys on defense. So when we have 4,000 defense, 16% of 4,000 is like, a little over 750. So it's a pretty good shield, especially considering he's going to be refreshing it every time he goes, basically.
Yeah.
He has a normal attack, we don't care, and then the talent. So basically, this is what raises effect res.
Effect res. It's only 25%. It's not bad. Well, you'll increase it.
Yeah, it'll increase when...
Yeah.
I don't think I can show max level on this. Or is there a way to do that? I forget.
Yeah, but you're going to hit like, what, 45, 50 at the most?
I think it goes to 50, and that's just a 10 if you happen to, raise him up further. But
you can tap on next level on the top right, and it'll show you how much it increases.
Well, I know, but only once. I don't think.
And I do think there are a couple skills. Maybe I'm wrong here. Most of them will follow the same increase, but I think there's a couple that some skill levels may go up or down towards the end. Like it won't always be the whatever that was, like 2.5 or whatever.
Right, his defense is up already. Light cone wise, we talked about it's essentially.
Yeah, that one, but you're gonna want to.
We pulled
probably
3 of these when going for Rappas.
Yes. Yes.
So
you were basically running ahead. Yeah.
So that worked out nicely because now we can take this and make it what was already pretty good, and then be like, oh yeah, well, what if instead of, like 16 and 4%, what if it was 24 and 6%? That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So just to be clear, this thing is already doing more than half of the defense gain of the big signature light cone. So that's solid, I'd say. I don't know.
That's all?
Now, if you're here for
a
polls,
4-star?
stay tuned because I've got like 80 regular ones to do. And I know those aren't the sexiest, but I've been sitting on them for a while, and I'm going to deploy all of them.
Oh, I might actually have a 10 pull myself. And I'm actually getting... I don't remember how close I am getting to the...
That's all?
To the one where you get the
Let's
freebie.
settle then. I'm going all
Like
in.
I'm like 12 away or something. I'm close. I'm incredibly close on Star Rail. You just don't get a lot of regular pulls,
Turns out I had exactly 65. That's so weird.
That's all? Let's settle then.
Plan this.
I'm going all in.
So we haven't even finished everything yet. He's already up to 2100 defense, and like there's still plenty more to do in a few different areas. So You can see
could
where
be
we're headed.
jealous
It's going to be ridiculous.
I could be jealous of all of the experience and stuff you have to level them up, but what I'm actually jealous of is the fact that you have basically more money than you'll ever need,
Mm-hmm.
and you never have to grind for it.
Yeah, I do have that. Let's go back to
That's
pulling
the
real
benefit
quick,
of
and then we'll show off Aventurine.
Yeah.
So let's see, 78 pulls, and I'm at like 50 pity or something. I haven't looked in a bit. I remember it was like 45 or 50. 5, 10. Let's just keep clicking. I know it's going to be a few pages in here. Well, apparently clicking faster makes it go slower, so that makes sense. All right, so 40.
There you go. Yeah.
So we're just pulling to see what happens here. We're at the point now where I would guess I would just like to get characters I don't have, like a Clara.
Mm-hmm.
I would not say no to more Eidolons for Himiko, who I still use on occasion, for Bronya, who I'm using occasionally for Rappa. I would say no to Japard. I would say no with all the confidence I can muster.
Well,
So
tell him in person when he shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the 7th.
Okay. Who?
Yeah, dead person.
Wow.
Here's your double 5-star pull on the next one.
Time to twirl.
Yo, 5-star Herta soon?
Yeah,
We'll see how that goes.
she
I've seen.
She apparently from the early testing is like lethal with Jade, which I don't have, but she's also pretty fun
Yeah.
with herself, her 4-star version.
Yeah, my understanding is she's basically just like
Temple.
4-star, 4-star but better. Like she just does lots of hits or whatever. Like she just does the hits or something.
Since I don't care about these tickets, I'm happy to follow in Doug's model, even though normally I probably would have single pulled. I got to keep the customers happy.
Okay.
Now-
you got a weld.
Well,
I'm not going to use Welt at all, but I did say new characters, so that's fine.
Yep.
I like Welt
Welt's
the
an
character.
interesting-
I just have no use for him
Yeah.
whatsoever.
I think he's interesting. I haven't found a time when I feel like I'm ready to build him, but I see a lot of like it happened a lot with like Firefly teams or stuff, and I still think there's a use for it where like you put him on like Acheron teams or you do weird things where you use his extreme amount of slowdown to effectively run sustainless teams where you're just there to ensure the enemy never gets a turn, essentially. So there's some interesting like ways to build him, but I don't know. By the time I get around to maybe bothering, he might have just fallen off too hard. So I guess we'll see.
I'm not single pulling all 8 of mine. I'll just save them for next time I do a big batch.
I mean, you could level up Welt enough to get 2 more.
I could,
God.
but it's not going to hit anything, and that's okay. We have to learn to be okay with our losses. So let's take a look at Aventurine in action real quick, because if we pull for a character, we really should show them off, and let's do that. Yeah, he will be doing all those things. Increases crit damage taken by enemies, which I know is the thing the other two will be doing. So you get to do the thing. I can do that for no reason. I get to snap. That's
They
dead.
give you a team with follow-up attacks, did they?
You're dead. Yeah, they did a weird thing to him in the trial too. This was a known quantity back then.
let's see this.
So, I mean, we looked at most of this, but this is a nice way to see it in a little bit simpler terms, let all the math and nonsense. But basic attack does not matter. Never does. Well, okay, almost never does. Shield, stacks, does stuff. Ultimate, does other stuff. Damage, crit damage boost. And then the talent is kind of the big deal here. You'll see. We don't get any turns, but we start with shield, so it's okay.
And on this team we have Bela and Welt.
Watch your head.
So that count at the bottom left just hit past 7, so that's why he snapped and dumped a bunch of chips on them. He's going to do it again here in a minute.
It's based on how many people got hit on the team.
People with shields that get hit,
Yeah.
essentially.
So all of a sudden, now we have an ult.
The dice have been cast.
Do that.
Or maybe I'll take it all.
Just the 1 point. He has an ult, so we can do that.
Time for a good old counterattack.
You can see where this is going to get very good with like Fei Xiao, who would really like lots of follow-up attacks to just happen, essentially.
I feel like I actually need to show him off in a fight with her because this. I forgot how bad this team was.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, as much as this is interesting, I don't actually think this is showing why he's important, because they put him in a team with no follow-up attack characters, which is weird because March 7th exists and would fit into this team as a 4-star that like they give you for free.
I mean, I get it, but like she wasn't in this. They rerun the trials, and that she wasn't in the game then. So
no, the old March 7th.
oh,
When
I don't know how the shields would play with each other though. Like, how does it keep track of them just overrun each other?
That's a fair point. I don't actually know how that works. I don't know if like her buff, if her shield counts as existing while his would clearly override it. 'Cause it's more. So I don't actually know how that works. That's a fair point. Maybe that's why there literally is no follow-up attack character.
Maybe
in the
maybe
base.
the idea is they're showing off how much damage you aren't taking.
Maybe
Because yeah, you're healthy. You can go the long haul.
Well,
with this character.
this has always been an unusual trial. One of the other ways it's unusual, Welt is here.
Yeah.
You don't often
He's a
put
5-star.
5 stars into this. I think there's only one other example of them having done that.
Yeah, it's usually just 4-star base characters that you are given for effectively free or could get super easily.
All right, well, fuck it. If you've been hanging around, we'll make it worth the while so you can actually see him in action because that was pathetic. Give me,
So you'll just need to level up a couple of these things, basically. Just a quick run through the tree.
yeah. Oh no.
Oof. The
No,
boss materials
no.
are gonna. Oh man, you don't have it for the.
What's the priority recommendation here? Skill, talent. Yeah. Well, you don't want me to get basic attack? What? That's what I thought. So, I have farmed a decent amount of this stuff. We can at least get him to be a respectable level so he'll be able to hold his own, and then we'll just go kill something random but important.
You should try to just go kill the bug boss.
I am standing right next to a boss too, I suppose.
You're
Just do
none
whatever
of
gets you the thing.
none of these passives affect his core mechanics, right? They were extras. One of them gave you the thing at the beginning of the battle. The other was what a buff.
Well, I mean, none
toss
of
the
it's like
buff out?
vital to him, no. But I'm just still gonna go through real quick and give him a 7 on some of those.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I think you should just do you should go do the bug. I don't know what it's called. It has a name. But
There.
the thing that massacred Firefly's people, okay? That's all I'm saying. Go dispense justice.
Hold on, I gotta enhance this light cone too. Look at how much defense I can
Oh.
get. Whoop.
I'm looking.
The number's getting bigger. We like number get bigger.
That's true. Number get bigger is good.
Number get bigger, I get bigger. Wait.
Well,
What?
melee.
Organic received. Hopefully that number gets smaller.
What the?
I'm
Oh.
12, and what is this?
Oh, it's doing the thing now. Fine.
Yeah.
Because if I try and do 4-star below to get those, it just keeps pulling the 3-star light cones, and I don't have time for that right now. See what I mean? Like, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I have all these materials for a reason, and despite the number of characters I've raised recently, I'm still not out yet. I don't know if I'm going to go to 80, but we'll at least do this much. Hold the button.
Hold the button.
Hold button. Hold button.
Hodor?
Fuck it.
Yes. I tried.
You might as well. You're gonna level it up at some point.
Oh, yeah. I'll
You're
have to put a little
600
more
out of
time into
3.
farming, but... Okay. Now, just from that, I haven't finished the relics yet,
Yeah, but that base defense increase should put
but
him up.
we're now at
380, yeah.
3,500. He will also get more from his traces.
Correct. They'll go to.
So, yeah, he's going to be just fine. But this is certainly enough that we can go take a look. So, if we would, real quick. Sorry, Raph, I've been using you a lot lately, but this is not your time to shine. Also, that's not the direction I pushed. Back over here on Team 2, we can just go ahead and swap out one gentleman in particular for another gentleman in particular. And as you can tell, this account is quickly becoming all imaginaries.
Oops, all imaginaries.
Oops, all imaginary. So now this is the team. This is the Fatar team. I think I'm technically supposed to move Topaz over to the right so that she's targeted less. I don't give a fuck. I want Topaz in the front and center.
You want adventure. You want it to spell fart. You know.
I didn't enable the team. There we go. I'm gonna go fight the bugs, huh?
No, that's what you need. You might as well go do it.
Yeah, that's true. Is it faster to go? I'll just go this way. We need this.
Tracy.
So we need this.
Yep.
So we need that. I might have been able to find in the list quicker. I don't know, but here we are. All right, so let's see him in action with a team that's actually meant for him, shall we?
Borehole.
Dangerous thoughts.
Now, we don't start with any shield because he's already fucked up, but that's why we're here. We're working on it.
Pressing it all together. Never hesitate.
Well, it's already happening, folks.
Yeah. That start off with Fake Out is just always.
Victory means playing the long game.
It feels so good. Feels good, man.
Sure, I'll play along. Spend freely.
There we
Okay, now we're in better shape. Now, that shield's not as beefy as it's going to be, but it's still good enough for now.
go. Nor are these characters, I think, hitting as hard because he's not applying some of the buffs that he should be.
Yeah, but we'll get there.
No dirty tricks.
He's doing the thing. Let's make more of him, shall we?
Apparently the name is Scarrick of Az.
That's not a
Yeah,
word.
he's the bug. Okay, he's the bug.
See, I was gonna say Tazeron earlier, but I'm like, no, that's the big head honcho of goodness, propagation.
Taseron Menthio Synthos or whatever she says.
Azarath.
I don't-
This is what you're doing.
I don't really want it alt in Phase 1. I'd rather wait for Phase 2. I suppose we could sort of force that issue, though. I go in this route instead. Now, you're going to switch to Phase 2, and you're going to be like, oh, it's my turn. And I'm going to be like, no, it fucking isn't.
Welcome to my.
Whoa.
I mean, at this point, we don't really need to refresh it. We could stack a little more, but...
Easy, Numby. Liquidation.
Yeah, unfortunately, she's singing, so you can't do that to her.
I was gonna say, yeah, her shields are low, but it doesn't matter. She doesn't exist.
No dirty tricks.
Show me what you can do.
It's fine.
Dice have been trust. Or maybe I'll take it off.
Things have gotten better.
Oh, but we're not done follow-upping yet. Like, we're just gonna, and then, but then also, and then this, and then this, and then, you know, it's like, it's all gonna happen.
Victory means playing the long game. I venture
He'll get a turn eventually.
He won't, he's dead, but
Victory
In another life.
He wasn't playing the long game.
Nope.
this is with Aventurine at like 50% of where he's gonna end up here, 60 maybe. Like, it's not, it's gonna be unfair for them, and I don't feel bad for them. Fuck the bugs, right? I mean, I think everybody who's watching who's played
I
Star
agree.
Rail agrees. Fuck the bugs.
Fuck the bugs.
Yeah.
Not literally. I mean, if you want to.
The game's
Okay, well
not
now all of
over
a sudden there
yet.
goes that through the roof.
Let's raise the stakes, shall
Now
we?
we start with a shield,
Do it
so we're not
again.
getting caught off guard.
Mm-hmm. You
You
start
get an
building.
immediate
Game's not
before and
over
after.
yet. Let's raise the stakes.
Fight him again. I don't know why I went for that one when these are cheaper, but I did. I'm just clicking things. I see button, I click button. Do I need imaginary damage? Not really, but it's fine.
But some of those imaginary damage lead to defense.
That's
so-
true. Oh. But
Ripperoni.
I think I still have enough that I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
How's that? Is that a good enough number? 1,800 to convert? Does that make enough? I don't know. God, let's see. Gee, oh, fuck. Maybe 440 of the purple ones will be good enough? I don't know. It's hard to say. Whatever.
Tough to say.
Now, the other one's going to run out, but that's fine. I think I can still upscale some of these too. I farmed a decent amount of this. Oh yeah.
Yeah, a couple.
Well, I could convert more, but we'll just do a chunk of them. I need to keep a few blue ones. There's a couple of things he's going to need them for still. Alright, that's a little better. Let's just keep going here and fight that. Yeah, great. And then, I don't know. We're going to have to get more of these now, but that's okay, right?
I mean, you're right here.
I'm
You're
right here. I'm staring the bugs in the face. I might as well
You
just
should
do
you should
it.
go walk over to the thing first, the teleporter, so you heal up. So you're
That's
not
true.
starting.
Robin is a little low. She'll be welcome to the floor if she's not careful. What?
Dr. Ratios.
Get out of here, Ratio.
That was the last time I walked into this room and didn't teleport.
Yeah.
Alright. This will look familiar. And again, the relic set still needs work. Like, there's still things to do here, but,
Harmony and unity.
look, we're already shielded. Isn't that nice?
That's nice.
We'll have to compare the amount of health on the health bars after the fight for how much that improves.
Well,
Having those three things.
already, just from having started with shields now, that was already better, right? Because, like,
Correct.
Yeah.
that's already queued up. Shao's already queued up. Building skill points. Ooh, sorry, too much effect resist.
You need to get stronger.
Look at him go. I mean, why would I ever punish shield still? Let's do it anyways. Fuck it. Look at him go.
Show me what you can do. I'll give you
Big shield goes.
I venture forever. Triumphant! Victory is inevitable!
You hit him with another.
I don't know if I need to. I guess I'm going to have to if I want to avoid using her again. So I guess for the same reason as last time.
Triumphant! Check, check, check. Victory is inevitable! Night. Stars echo.
I am the Robin now.
Got him.
Fangs and claws got dull.
The dice have been kept. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all.
Oh, he got 7 points.
That won't do.
This bug's just like, how did I get onto this game?
Right.
He's very confused right now. He's just looking around like, what is happening?
Get
He's just a bug. He doesn't know.
Look, they actually did a thing.
They did do
Yeah.
it.
Hey, Chow's taking damage. What is this crap?
You're gonna die.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. Well,
They had a million other targets, and they were like, nah.
now they lock
we
on.
kill.
Doctor in particular.
Well, that's his ult. Completely negated.
Excuse me. I already said to ult, assholes.
Investing in victory means playing the long game!
No dirty tricks.
Confiscated!
See,
Watch your head.
the funny thing about that is my Topaz is probably still slightly stronger than my Facial, especially with her in the E1.
No, like
Sure, I'll play along.
Yeah.
It's on
Or
me.
no, that's right. They used the E1 that you went for.
The dice have been bust. Or maybe I'll take it all.
There could be times where I'd be worried about being down to a sub DPS. This is not one of them. Oh, and by the way,
Not.
I can welcome people to my world again whenever I feel like it. Maybe now.
Stars echo! No more time! Go nutty!
Hedge your bet.
So y'all keep thinking you're going to return, and even though you had hit my face out 7 times in a row, you still get to go fuck yourself.
It's true.
More upgrades.
We're dancing to the beat.
All right, and then I'll do it again. No, I'm just kidding. This will be the end of it. But
Yeah.
so let's.
Tomorrow.
Oh, I had him. Turn around. There you go. So there he is. Again, I'll finish working on him on the side here. But good poll results today. Both won the 50-50. I have another full 50-50 ready to go. We'll have to see when the next video pops up. Maybe Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. It's early. Nick, having won the 50-50, what do you have your eye on next? Anything?
In theory, that could be my complete team for the follow-up attack. Obviously, they I can shoot for improvements, as in like, obviously the go-to would be Topaz, but we just had her, so like I don't know what I would go for from here on out. It would almost be building a completely different team, or at least tools to modify the elements of a team to be a bit more effective at pure fiction. I could continue building out Herta and Himiko for pure fiction stuff. I don't know what else I would use for that, but that's what I'm looking at.
We have to make a joke about Shenhe here, so
Yeah.
Shenhe.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I'm waiting for.
Just another week without Shenhe.
It's been so long since you know, I've completely forgot about her. It's like, what am I even doing this for?
You're gonna have 600 pulls by the time she comes back, and you may need them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You gonna max?
I'm going from 0 to hero, and that's the idea.
Yeah, not even having her to trying to C6 her. So he will need the pulls. Oddly enough, this is sort of a blessing in disguise, them holding off on this. We'll see, though, whenever this happens. It could be that they're trying to buff Cryo or do something, wait for like Seat Lolly or some other character that is going to breathe new life into Cryo, or the reactions or something. It's interesting because we've reached a point where there appears to be a very clear disfavoring of a bias against Cryo in particular. They are skipping Cryo characters that they shouldn't skip using their normal like banner logic. So it has to be intentional to some degree, which must mean that they're trying to do something with the element, or at leleast you'd hope, because they have adjusted certain elemental reactions behind the scenes on some of the betas here. A lot of like electrocharge and superconduct and shatter and things that are cryo related have gotten a buff recently. So if they can, you know, pull I don't know, like a Star Rail or a ZZZ, where, you know, Jane Doe comes out and suddenly it's not just assault, it's assault that can crit or whatever. If they can do something with Cryo along those lines, introduce a character that improves reactions, that might breathe a lot of new life into the entire element, and some people even said maybe they'll do like a Cryo banner, you know, like the limited pull one, but it's like all the Cryo characters. I don't know about that. That sounds like way more work than I think I've ever seen them put in like anything. But there does seem to be some sort of bias, which maybe means whenever Shenhe comes up, it'll be worth the pulls. So, you know.
And if Sitlali doesn't help fix it, I don't know if it's fixable.
I guess Shneznaya, whenever they get around to putting out a Cryo Traveler, that's
Sure.
like that's your next hope.
Yeah, because the Travelers have all been so good.
Correct, right? I do think that we'll see. There might be rumors of kits dropping today. Hell, they could have dropped already and I haven't noticed. But yeah, there are supposed to be. They've held off on Pyro Traveler, and this is the first time they've ever done that. So the thinking is, if they're going to make it like this hard to get, right? You've got to say do side quests to get constellations. If they're going to do all that, it's possible Pyro Traveler could be the first genuine good Traveler. I say that Dendro was solid. Dendro eventually kind of got power crept by the other Dendro units, but it was good at the time and very usable and still probably the best, easily. But Pyro could genuinely be good. It could even be good in the sense that you need to get your constellations to unlock the full goodness, essentially. But those constellations are locked behind the little story quest, so it might be an incentive to engage with the region, and if you do that, you get a like full-on like 5-star Traveler or something. They could do something like that. I don't think they will, but they might. They could. They have the potential to do that, and there are some signs that they're cooking up something different for whatever reason. Or it could be the Hydro Traveler again, and you could just fucking shoot little wispy sparks of fire at people that do no damage.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who the hell knows? It could be atrocious, but it's hard to know. You know.
Well, the roadmap at this point is clear for those of us who at least have plans. You know, Shenhe, we don't know when she's coming back, so Doug's sort of stuck. But Jason will be in a video within the next week for Chaska. I will be pulling not long after that for Mavica in Genshin. I'm waiting for Miyabi in ZZZ. Looks like that's only a few more weeks off, so that'll be nice. That's kind of the roadmap from here to the next Star Rail. I guess I'll have to see. I'll put these 2 new teams through the paces and see how they're doing and see what is the most thing in need. But you'll see another whaling video here quickly because Jason really would like to have a character that a lot of other people don't like, but he's going to.
Yeah, I don't know. I might even put a lot of funds into her. We'll see when the 50/50 drops. I think I will pull on the weapon banner. Maybe not necessarily to get the weapon, but to get the 4-star bow that's on the weapon banner. Just because it looks cool, and if you have enough like R3 in it, it's one of her better weapons outside of. Problem is her signature. It's just the best. It's like way better than all the other weapons. So you're sort of just competing for style and ease of use out of all the other weapons underneath that. But I could just, ideally, I'd actually like C1 for Chaska, because it alleviates. Well, I don't want to say it alleviates some team building. It makes it easier to do some team building, and more importantly, it makes you gives you more stamina essentially for exploration to fly around, and that's the huge draw to something like Chaska. So, team building easing aside, I'd like to build a like fly for 30% longer. That sounds great. Sign me up. I want to ride that gun to the moon. You know, let's do that. So, yeah, that's what we're doing for Chaska. It'll be maybe a potential disaster but I've got I have at least a guarantee of a Chaska, so we're set for that at least.
Well, that'll be the next video when you see it pop up in the feed. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. It's my chance to show at the end of a 50-minute video. Like the video, let us know what you pulled. You know, have you pulled well? Have you not pulled well? I want to hear about it in the comments. I respond to most of them, even the ones who are assholes. And we'll see you the next time we have a whaling video.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.